If you're looking for a vividly realistic and gripping science fiction film, then look no further. Despite a low budget and minimal dialogue, this film delivers one of the most eerie and subtly intense narratives I've seen in quite a while. Hello, and welcome back to Film Friday, in which I review a new film every single week. This week we're looking at Europa Report, an independent science fiction film which I discovered at random and was quite impressed by. As always, this will contain spoilers, so consider yourself warned. Let's get into it. When I first discovered Europa Report, I thought it was just going to be another independent science fiction film with a low budget and cheesy dialogue. And while the budget may have been low, the dialogue was not cheesy. In fact, this film proved to be far better than many studio productions today, and I found it to be incredibly underrated. The plot is simple, but also compelling. A group of astronauts journey through space on a mission to explore one of Jupiter's moons, known as Europa. Almost everything about this film felt real, except for a few moments at the end, which I'll return to later on. Not only was the dialogue not cheesy, it often didn't feel scripted at all. The conversations felt like real, casual conversations people might actually have. And not only that, much of them didn't drive forward the plot at all. Now, you might hear that and think, well, that sounds like a pretty boring movie. And to be fair, some parts of the film did move a little slow, but it also wasn't a long film overall. Furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, there was a sense of eeriness about almost every single scene. So even when characters were just having a casual conversation, you as an audience member were constantly on edge, wondering what might be about to go horribly wrong. This film is also a prime example of an independent movie acknowledging it is an independent movie, and embracing that, instead of trying to be something it couldn't be. So often when watching an independent B-movie, it is clear what the filmmakers were trying to do, but they either didn't have the budget or the expertise to attain that lofty goal, and it just falls flat. Europa Report neatly sidestepped that problem through its creative use of cinematography. The way in which it was filmed, it was presented almost as a vlog, formed from found footage. Everything you saw as an audience member was supposed to be coming from these hidden cameras which were placed around the spacecraft, and just documenting the everyday lives of the Voyagers. The limited coverage which these cameras provided left questions unanswered, without it coming across like a plot device. Also, because of the nature of the footage, it was completely understandable if it wasn't all ultra high definition. In fact, that was kind of the point. Now, I did mention at the beginning that there was one moment where the realism kind of fell apart for me, and that was in the climactic end sequence. The nature of the scene itself wasn't so much of the problem. It was more that when the filmmakers were finally forced to use CGI in order to create the alien monster, it didn't look as real as everything else had. Now, to be fair, the CGI itself wasn't that bad. In fact, all things considered, it was actually quite good. But it kind of stood out from the rest of the realism of the film, which was part of what made it so good. Despite that little flaw, however, this film is most certainly worth watching, and deserves to be more widely acknowledged and less underrated. Europa Report has exceeded my expectations, and I give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to include your own thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more movie reviews and commentary.